So I guess we'll just jump into this thing. So who am I? Well, my name is Robert Beadles. I'm a Christian husband, father. That big guy back there in the Monarch shirt that looks kind of like me is my oldest kid. So I've been with his mom since we were 14 years old. That's right. Still together, 27 years later. I created one of the largest, thank you. Hey, it's not me, man, it's all her. You know, she's the one that should be getting the credit, not me, right? But I created one of the largest construction service companies in California. And then I created a software company in 2009. I'll explain how, how that happened a little bit later. And then, let's see, what did I do? In 2011, I got into crypto. I'll explain to you how I did that a little bit later. And then in around 2017, created a YouTube channel called Crypto Beadles, just for friends and family. That's it. Just for friends and family to kind of educate and help get people into blockchain and crypto. Mostly just for friends and family, that was it. And in each one of these videos, we give away $100. Back then it was of Ethereum, and now I give away $100 of Bitcoin Cash. And the reason why I do this is just simply to get people into crypto, because everybody sitting out here can attest to how great it is, but how few people actually know about it. So by giving them money, it kind of, enforces the need for them to go spend it and to introduce other people to crypto. So we did that with our YouTube channel, and the next thing you know, we get a TV show, and then I became the face of TradingView Sessions. And in doing all this stuff with the Crypto Beetle side of things, we interviewed about 1,000 different people. So it started off just as like blockchain education, just like showing people how to, just kind of navigate the waters of crypto, so to speak. But then they started asking me to do more and more things. Why don't you go interview the founder of this? What do you think of this project? So we interviewed like about 1,000 different people. About half of them made it to the show. In doing this, we started seeing all these pain points of crypto. Started seeing all the problems that are out there. And so we created Monarch Wallet to address some of those issues.
Welcome to the Monarch Wallet, a truly decentralized cryptocurrency wallet that supports over 3,000 cryptocurrencies. And for merchants, it includes Monarch Pay. Buy and sell from your bank or credit card. Earn up to 8.2% interest and soon get loans. A built-in decentralized ERC20 exchange. Portfolio tracker, market cap, and news. Users own their keys and seed. Biometric security. Go download the Monarch Wallet today.
With, for the masses, for the people. And then we created Monarch Pay for the merchants. So I'll get into that a little bit later. But so that's some of the main stuff about me right there. And then what I'm going to talk about today is more along the lines of just stories. I don't want to go up here and just preach to you guys. So I'll just kind of tell you my story through blockchain and through Bitcoin and some of the stuff that we're doing. And then if my voice holds up through this, then we'll do some Q&A and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just start off with how did I hear about Bitcoin? So it was I think around early part of January 2011. This beautifully eccentric man named Max Kaiser. I don't know if you guys follow him on RTV or any of that kind of stuff. He was one of those guys that I always listened to, always respected, and he kept talking about this thing called Bitcoin. He talked about the financial collapse in 2008, talked about how it was all caused by big banks, these big institutions, all these nefarious actors that had destroyed our fiat supply or our way of life, so to speak. But there's this thing called Bitcoin that could save the day. So I immediately started looking into it. I started diving deep, checking out all this cool stuff that Bitcoin actually does. Normally I got a clicker, sorry. So I started looking at all this cool stuff that Bitcoin does, and when I started looking into it, I quickly realized that this is pretty freaking amazing. So I got bit by the old Bitcoin bug, and I started seeing things that, like, it was transparent. You could actually see where the money was going. You could see who had the money. You could see that it was this peer-to-peer digital currency that anybody in the world, anywhere could use. They could basically be their own bank, especially using something like the Monarch Wallet, right? They could take their money anywhere in the world and go spend it. Then there was nobody in charge of it. I thought that was really freaking cool, right? That it's just basically a bunch of strangers that don't even really know each other, but if they support the network and they do good deeds, the network rewards them in Bitcoin. So I started looking into all this stuff, and then I realized that in addition to all that, there was this thing called being immutable, where people couldn't mess with it. They couldn't change it. But that was pretty cool. And then I started looking at the scarcity aspect of it. And that's one of the biggest problems we have in our current financial situation is our governments, doesn't matter what government you're in, they seem to be printing money into extinction. But with Bitcoin, there was only 21 million of it. So that meant that, it's gonna be scarce. And it's gonna be deflationary, not inflationary. So after looking at all these cool things that Bitcoin does, I was like, well, I'm in, right? And then when I started looking more into Bitcoin, I realized that there's this guy, this gal, this person, somebody, maybe it's a group of people, maybe it's the NSA, nobody really knows, but it's this mysterious Satoshi. And when you start looking into it, start realizing, why he did what he did, because of the financial collapse, right? Thank you, very cool. Appreciate it, thank you. Very cool. So as I started looking into this mysterious Satoshi, I started realizing that the whole reason why he did this was to free the people, basically, right? To give us this peer-to-peer digital money that could be used anywhere. Nobody knew who he, she, they was, but the guy should get like some kind of Nobel Peace Prize or something for what he created. It hasn't worked exactly as he wanted. Obviously, he wanted things to be, fast and cheap and all that kind of stuff. And people can argue that, we're there, or obviously we're not. He wanted to see it as, kind of like this digital cash, but it's become more of a store of value. But regardless, Bitcoin is incredible. It's, I think one of the greatest inventions of my lifetime for sure. And then when I started looking a little bit further beyond Satoshi and this cool thing that he created for everybody, I realized that there was this mysterious code, this Bitcoin code. It wasn't just dropped in our laps. There was actually people, this core developers, that have to actually maintain it, that are actually, working on the code. And then when I looked into this, I started getting a little bit worried because what happens if it collapses, right? Because you got people that are maintaining this code. But it's not like Linux, where Linux is open source, kind of like Bitcoin is. And what I mean by that is anybody out there can create like a Bitcoin improvement protocol. I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but people can contribute to the Bitcoin code if the core developers decide to take it, right? So Bitcoin is being open source. It allows for this, right? And these core devs, they're basically in charge of maintaining the code. But again, like with Linux, it being open source, Linux is actually paid. Well, there's people that are paid to maintain the code. There's people that are out there, working on the code, trying to make it better and things like that. Where with Bitcoin, not so much. These people are doing it out of philanthropy, right? The people that initially started supporting Bitcoin in the beginning were the early adopters. And these people, just like us, we all got to eat. So how long would all of you out there work for free? And so with Bitcoin, these core developers that are working on the chain, a lot of these guys, they realize they need to eat. Unless they got this big bag of Bitcoin or something like that, well, they're not getting paid. So it really doesn't behoove them to work on Bitcoin itself. And so some of the issues that we've talked about with, some of the speed and, all that type of stuff with Bitcoin and the high fees, they're not really all that incentivized to fix it with the actual Bitcoin network.
Welcome to the Monarch Wallet, a truly decentralized cryptocurrency wallet that supports over 3,000 cryptocurrencies. And for merchants, it includes Monarch Pay. Buy and sell from your bank or credit card. Earn up to 8.2% interest and soon get loans. A built-in decentralized ERC20 exchange. Portfolio tracker, market cap, and news. Users own their keys and seed. Biometric security. Go down with the Monarch Wallet today.
Because they're not getting paid to. So what they do is they create a side hustle. We'll call it a second layer solution. We'll call it Lightning Network. We'll call it whatever you want. But they're over there working on that, and they're not really working on the Bitcoin code itself. So, that might be okay, because how many people in here are actually using Bitcoin? I'd love to see some hands. I mean, how many in here actually own Bitcoin and are using it? Well, that is pretty freaking impressive. I love it. Awesome. Normally, outside of this room, when you go out there and you ask people, who's heard of Bitcoin, they've pretty much, they'll raise their hands, but most of them don't own it, right? Most of them surely aren't using it. So with Bitcoin the way it currently stands is most people are holding on to Bitcoin expecting it to moon. They're expecting it to go up in price. And so there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's other things out there that work better than Bitcoin as digital cash anyway, so maybe this isn't a problem. Maybe we don't want to keep improving Bitcoin, because if we do, well, we might have an issue like we had in 2010. So for those of you that were there in 2010, you know that there was 184 billion extra Bitcoin made. Satoshi himself actually found it and fixed it before it became a problem. Then in, what was it, September of 2018, they pushed up an inflation bug, or the miners could have made more than 21 million Bitcoin. Why is this important? Well, with code, I don't know how many programmers are out here, but when you push up an update or something like that, there's always bugs. There's always going to be bugs. And Bitcoin has kind of become this universal thing. It's kind of like it's what crypto stands for. And so if Bitcoin is to fail, what do you think it's going to do? If they push up a bug, it fails. What do you think that's going to do to the sentiment in this room? What do you think it's going to do? Easy, right? Yeah, it's going to be really problematic. So if you look back at Satoshi's early writings, he talks about when the network gets to a point where there's enough people on it and technology speeds up enough to where you can actually do it, he says to increase the block sizes. So if you guys remember the Bitcoin Cash fork and the Bitcoin fork back in 2017, the original people with Bitcoin Core, if you look at like Gavin and Andreessen and you look at like Satoshi, they said, you know, bigger blocks when the time comes for it. But there was a big sect. People split from Bitcoin and went to Bitcoin Cash, and some people stayed at Bitcoin. Why is this important? Well, Bitcoin Cash became fast and cheap to use, where Bitcoin did not. And if you look at the core team that kind of went away from it, they're the same people for the most part that are working on these second layer solutions. It didn't behoove them to actually work on the Bitcoin blockchain. And if you look at who's Satoshi Nakamoto, remember the guy I told you in the beginning? When he disappeared, because he created this amazing thing and then just kind of disappeared, we actually turned the keys over to a guy named Gavin Andreessen, who's one of the original OGs of Bitcoin. Guess what side he's on? He's on the Bitcoin Cash side. And all these core devs are still, over there working on their second layer hustles. So again, maybe this isn't important, because who knows, if Bitcoin goes and tries to make bigger blocks, maybe they push up a bug, maybe they destroy Bitcoin. So maybe we should just leave it as it is. I did a video a while back called Leave Bitcoin Alone. For those of you that remember the Britney Spears, leave Britney alone. Anyways, I did a Leave Bitcoin Alone, right? Because I really don't want them to mess it up, because creating technology like we do, we know that there's always bugs and things can happen, and we don't want to see Bitcoin, basically implode, right? So maybe we just leave it as digital gold. That's up for all of you to decide. So that's one of the things that I look at it is most people don't spend Bitcoin for, coffee. When you are looking at, your stock, your Apple stock, you're probably not spending your Apple stock on burgers and bills. And that's what most people look at, Bitcoin as. Most cryptocurrencies are kind of like a business. Well, I guess I would say most blockchains are like a business and their cryptos are like their stocks. So people to use cryptocurrencies need to make sure that they're using something that they're not holding as digital gold, I would imagine. So what could people use that isn't Bitcoin, that works, that's fast, cheap, reliable, all that kind of stuff? And let me also go back, and I'm not advocating that Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin by any stroke of the imagination. There's only one Bitcoin, but I'm just saying that Bitcoin Cash solved the issues that Satoshi was talking about. But going forward, not spending Bitcoin, because most people are just holding on to it for digital gold, things like that. What can we use? What will get people into crypto? Well, I believe there's this thing called stable coins. And stable coins are essentially something that's, backed by let's just call it $1. Let's just call it $1 of assets. Everybody in here spends dollars. You all got, $20 on you, $10 on you, whatever. You have no problem spending that for coffee, spending that for food. So that's kind of the premise behind stable coins and stable tokens. It removes that, that feeling, that concern of it mooning, right? That concern that everybody has of the price going up and them spending $5 on a burger that tomorrow is going to cost them $50, like so many people worry about with Bitcoin. So take my friend Josh, for example. My friend Josh has a huge business, and he's got tons of employees, and he would love to take crypto. He says that he's got a ton of Bitcoin. I got him into crypto, I guess, a long time ago. but he doesn't want to spend it either because he's waiting for, for it to moon. He's waiting for it to go up. And he talks about his employees and his customers and how they don't currently understand how cryptocurrency works. Because to be frank, right now, the user experience for crypto for the most part sucks. We all know that. We all know that. And so he doesn't want to have to take the time to educate his employees. He doesn't want to have to take the time to educate his customers, any of that kind of stuff. But he loves crypto. So then I started explaining to him about stable coins and stable tokens. And he instantly got very interested because he doesn't have to worry about it mooning. He can just spend it like dollars. And it's fast and it's cheap and it's borderless. And he doesn't have all these holds from the bank and all that kind of stuff. So he became very, very interested. And so that's when I explained to him what Monarch Pay is. So like I said in the beginning, we created Monarch, it's back there. We created Monarch Wallet for the people. All right, so back is Satoshi's, vision of having peer-to-peer digital cryptocurrency that you could take anywhere in the world with you. We created Monarch for that purpose. So it's a wallet that you can put your cryptos in. You can take it anywhere in the world and be your own bank. But then we stepped it up from there and we said, well, let's take all the best, services, the best companies in crypto that we partner with and turn this into like this super app to where now you don't need 40 different apps. You just need one. You don't need to have, all this crazy stuff going on your phone. Just one app, one login, and now you can buy and sell crypto. You can earn interest on your crypto. You'll soon be able to get loans on your crypto. You have, your market cap in it, your news, all kinds of cool stuff. Think of it as kind of like WePay, where you've got one login and you have access to all these incredible services. We partner with people like Alex Mashinsky. They're in the second row. Look at that handsome devil right there with Celsius. So Celsius, they do interest where you deposit your crypto, and every Monday you get some free crypto for staking it with them, basically. And then I think you got loans too, right? So I'm sure we'll be implementing that. But anyway, so we created Monarch Wallet to add all these really cool services in one place for the people. That way they'd be their own bank anywhere in the world. And then we created Monarch Pay for the merchants, for the Joshes out there, because they want to get into crypto, but they don't know how, and they're afraid it's going to moon. So with Monarch Pay, basically what you do is you either go to the Monarch Pay website or you download the app and you simply just, in about 30 seconds, you fill out these fields as a merchant and it generates this little link. And so now when you generate this little link, anybody that clicks that link now becomes your subscriber. So if you set the terms as 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, whatever you set the terms at, the money for your subscription or your service or whatever it is will come out of their wallet and go right into your wallet with no middlemen, no third parties, any of that stuff. It's all smart contracts for less than 1% with no chargebacks. Literally takes like 30 seconds. And so why is this important? Well, this isn't something that replaces Visa or MasterCard or Stripe or any of that kind of stuff. This is just something you add in addition to your existing merchant services. When you look at credit cards, they charge like 3%. If you use Patreon or Twitch or PayPal, it can go up to like 60%. And then they got these things called chargebacks, where say for instance, I sell Jay, a nice little sweatshirt there, right? So I sell it to him, he gets it, he uses his credit card. He calls up the credit card company and says, I never got it. I sent him the shirt. And then he calls the credit card company and says he didn't do it. And then they take the money from me. That happens to merchants all over the place, right? These things called chargebacks where the merchant gets, basically screwed out of their item and their money. Well, again, with Monarch Pay, it solves this problem, right? You don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. So as I started telling Josh about all this stuff, he got super psyched and he joined it. So now we've got one of the largest precious metal companies in the world that are going to be using, Monarch Pay for all their different types of invoicing needs and payment needs. And they don't have to worry about, banks putting holds on their funds. They don't have to worry about the high transaction fees of switching, fiat to crypto and all that kind of stuff. So it's just another type of thing that we wanted to solve. Now, in addition to like stable coins and stable tokens and Monarch Wallet and Monarch Pay, what are some of the use cases out there for crypto? See, that's one of the things that a lot of people, it's still early, right? It's still early. People are just kind of holding on, expecting money to just come in because they're holding on to some crypto and it's going to moon like it did back in 2017. And there's a lot of disappointed people out there right now, if that's the only reason. But some of the really cool use cases, man, of crypto are things like, if it just stopped with banking, that would be awesome, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot more to it than that, but I mean, when you look at what Satoshi did, he freed the world by giving people an amazing Plan B currency. You can take your crypto anywhere in the world. You can spend it however you want. You know, for the first time in the history of the world, you can actually take your money with you when you die. Think about it. If you got like a paper wallet or you got a Monarch wallet and you put the little 12-word seed in your head, and that's the only place that you've got access to your funds, and you die, it dies with you, right? You know, I'm not saying that's a great thing or anything like that, but anyways, it's the first time you can actually take the money with you when you die. In addition to that, you can actually be your own bank anywhere in the world, right? So whether you're in Brazil or you're in Russia or you're in America or whatever, you can use your own money any way that you want without having to worry about somebody taking it from you, without having to worry about somebody freezing it from you. It's pretty cool. And it works today, right? Then you got things for like actual blockchain use cases. I mean, things like farm to fork. So we're talking about kind of supply chain things. You know, when you hear about all these different tainted foods and you hear about people getting sick, you know, blockchain could at least pinpoint where it came from. Now, not everything, you know, is going to be amazing on the blockchain, all right? Because a lot of people want to put everything on the blockchain. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but there's a thing called decentralized and a thing called centralized. And most people in here probably know the difference. But for some of the new people here, decentralized basically means it's organic. There's nobody really in control of it. Where centralized means there's usually one person or a company in charge of it. And so with different blockchains, they have different use cases. But things like farm to fork could be pretty incredible because you actually know where your food came from. They could enter all this data into the blockchain. You'll see exactly who grew your food. You'll see exactly, you know, where it was grown, what kind of fertilizer they put in it, how long it's been on the shelf or how long it's been in transit, how long it took to get to your restaurant, whatever, to the supermarket. You'll be able to see all of that stuff. Things like authenticating, you know, your shoes. So like Ken has these amazing, you know, Bitcoin shoes on. How do we know that they're authentic? Well, if they use the blockchain and they actually put, you know, real data in the beginning, it's just not just garbage in, garbage out, it's real data, we would know that those are authentic Bitcoin shoes, right? Same thing with real estate. So I don't know if you guys have bought a lot of real estate or you guys have been involved in any kind of real estate transactions. It's very cumbersome, right? There's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes on, all kinds of paperwork filings, all kinds of, you know, deeds and people you have to bring in. It's a lot. So there's actually these things called smart contracts. Smart contracts are basically just if I do this, you'll get that. It's basically just this automated code that allows for things to happen without needing a third party. So with real estate, for instance, using things like smart contracts, it could basically make real estate transactions extremely seamless, easy, and then also forever. So if you've got, I don't know, say an ancestor that left you some property 200-300 years ago, it's very difficult to prove that it's yours today. You see this with the railroads all the time, where they took land from people, you know, hundreds of years ago, and you know, they're selling it today, and maybe somebody else should be owning it, but they can't prove it. Well, with blockchain, you'll be able to actually prove ownership of all the different, you know, transactions that you have, all the things that you own, who owns what. But again, it's, you know, garbage in, garbage out. If it's, you know, fake garbage in the beginning, then, you know. But if you do it right, it can be amazing for real estate. You look at like medications. You hear about tainted, you know, medications, you know, often. You hear about shortages of medication. If these pharmaceutical companies in the beginning are, you know, are truthful when they put exactly how much of an ingredient that they have, how long, you know, it's been on the shelf or how long it's been in transit, you'll be able to see, you know, exactly what's out there, how much it cost, where it came from, all that kind of stuff. Medical records, same type of thing. I don't know if you guys, you know, have been to different hospitals, but it can be a kind of a pain in the butt trying to take your medical records with you, especially if you get sick in another country. Now, having everything on the blockchain, basically anywhere you go, you could have access to it, and so could they, if, you know, you allow them to. It doesn't have to be just out there on the blockchain for everybody to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you CrowTrader. No longer do you have to be a power trader to make profits in the market. CrowTrader is easy to use, powerful, and customizable. An algorithmic cryptocurrency trading bot that sounds difficult, but makes automated trading a breeze. 6 powerful trading strategies, including Bollinger Bands, EMA Sniper, Ichimoku Cloud, Ping Pong, and others, with more to come. Complete backtesting for every market pair so you can see the effectiveness of a strategy using historical price data. Customize your strategies to operate the way you want them to, and let CrowTrader trade the market while you're sleeping. Save and share your customized settings or load settings of other users from within the community. You are never alone. Tweak your settings until content for best earning potential, and then turn on paper trading to find out how effective your strategy is in real time without risking any capital in your experiments. Run CrowTrader on your favorite exchanges such as CoinBase Pro or Binance, with new exchanges coming soon. With CrowTrader, you are never alone as our growing community aims to help one another find success in the market. Once content, turn on live trading for your market pairs and let CrowTrader get to work improving your position using base pairs such as Bitcoin, US dollar, or Ethereum. Get CrowTrader now at crowtrader.com and start trading today.
There's different types of blockchains, right? You've got, private and you got public. Public is Bitcoin. Private would be, somebody like a Kaiser doing their own type of blockchain. Then you got like asset ownership. So again, I think that every stock, bond, mutual fund, I think different real estate, everything's going to end up being tokenized. With blockchain, all this is possible. So for instance, people have like Apple stock and things like that. It can be kind of a pain in the butt to trade, to get, to show that you own it, all that kind of stuff. Well, now in your wallet, you could have tokens of, just say, shares of Apple, but it's actually in token form. So there's all kinds of cool things. It could be pieces of real estate. Maybe there's 100 of us that all come together and we buy a big building in Manhattan. We can show that we own a piece of it, using tokens and things like that. But one of the big ones that I see too is media. What do I mean by media? Well, Crypto Crow's got an awesome YouTube channel. I've got one. One of the problems that we have is we're at YouTube's mercy. They can shut us down at any time. They can, and you've seen it. You've seen them demonetize people. You've seen them just close channels without warning. You can see that if it's maybe against what they want people to know, or it's not politically correct in their opinion, they just blacklist you, delete your videos, close your accounts, all that kind of stuff. It can be kind of scary, especially when you put a lot of time and a lot of resources into building your family, right? So you got all these people that you start interacting with. I mean, you look at Jay. He came all the way from New Mexico just to see me speak. I'm up here sick. I can't let people down. So, anyways, people like Jay and everybody else that you become family with, they could just disappear, just like that, because YouTube just deletes you. So with blockchain, I'm one of those guys that doesn't believe that everything should be decentralized. I don't think that works. I'm one of those guys that thinks it needs to be a healthy mix. I think there needs to be a little bit of centralized power with a lot of decentralization. Why? Because it's got to be quick and it's got to be easy and it's got to work really, really well. And nothing decentralized works really, really well. You have to have some kind of interface that makes it easy. So with the YouTube side of things, I've said this for years, it would be amazing if we had the aspects of our videos, all this clunky stuff, all these huge files that are slow, take up all kinds of space, centralize that. Put all that stuff, Amazon Cloud, whatever. Put it in, centralized servers. But the important stuff, you guys, everybody that, we're interacting with, the fans, the subscribers, the family, those people, all that stuff would be decentralized. So we would always have access to that, to where even if the media went down, we would still be able to just start right back up and everybody be right there with us again. So that's another amazing use case of blockchain and how it can do it. So, adoption, getting people involved. We're all here, which is a great thing. And again, huge thanks to Jason for putting this together for everybody. It's awesome, especially at these low ticket prices. But what you're gonna see over the next year or two is gonna be pretty freaking crazy. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be scary too. And I've always said that cryptocurrency is either the greatest freedom for the people or the largest enslaver of the people. Only time will tell. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but China, so you got Jinping that just came out and said blockchain for everything. and we're going to have our own cryptocurrency. And for the past 5 years, they've been creating their own crypto. That's what they say anyways. And then you hear about this 20,000 pounds of gold that maybe end up backing it. Or maybe it's just going to be the renminbi, right? Their money. Who knows? But we know that they're coming into crypto. We know that there's, almost 2 billion Chinese. We know that there's billions of other Asians, and they're all using things like WePay, and Alipay, Dash Pay. I don't know if you've been to China. I just got back. One of the things I noticed over there was nobody is using paper money. Everybody's using digital money over there. So they're literally just like this far away from being all crypto already. And so when you get like Jinping saying that they're going all blockchain, and then you have their central bank that says we're going to have our own cryptocurrency, this could happen really, really quick. And so you're going to see billions of people on the other side of the world start using crypto. Now, I don't know if that's good or bad for the US, time will tell, but you can think about somebody like China having their own cryptocurrency, their own blockchain. Like I said, it could be the biggest freedom or enslaver of the people, because now with this crypto out there, the Chinese government it's going to be super centralized, which means that they're going to have absolute control and power over this currency, which probably, if you look at history, isn't going to be a good thing, right? You know that they're going to be able to maybe whitelist and blacklist people. You know that they're going to be able to freeze funds because they have to comply with AML and KYC, and that's one of the things that they do there, right? Is you have to be able to, the ability to freeze funds. So maybe they say something that's not politically correct, and then these Asians don't have access to their funds. They're cut off from society. Could be bad. What do we have going on over here in the US? Well, you've got people like Jamie Dimon that was saying Bitcoin's a scam, Bitcoin's bad, while he's quietly buying up as much as he possibly can while he's pushing the price down. At least that's what we saw, from what I heard. Then you got people like the Federal Reserve saying that they're coming into crypto. You got JP Morgan, you got Jamie Dimon, the same guy that's saying it was a scam, he's coming into crypto. You got Facebook that's out there. They got, 2.8 billion users or something like that? They're trying to get into crypto, but the US is giving them a lot of resistance, a lot of pressure. You got Telegram, they're getting sued by the SEC. So we're seeing a lot of issues here in the US that's a little frightening, because you see Asia on the other side of the world that's embracing it and going to be doing their own thing. So it's really important for all of us to start spreading the word as much as we can about all the cool use cases for crypto. And why people like Facebook may not be the best company to have out there with their own crypto when they already have our data and know all about us socially. Maybe them knowing about us financially isn't the best idea either, but we got to do something here, right? We got to get in the game, so to speak. So what can you all do to get involved other than just educate people? Well, you can actually, if you're employers, you can maybe ask your employees or your contractors, hey, you mind taking some crypto? You mind getting paid in stable coins, stable tokens? That way there's no fear of loss on your end of potential gains. And you start getting that person in. Maybe the places that you frequent, your restaurants, people, I don't know, your grocery stores. You ask them, hey, do you mind taking crypto? And you just kind of start it that way, where you start with these little conversations, and things are going to get easier. Because right now, crypto sucks. It does. The UX, the UI, it's cumbersome for the most part. It's a pain, but it's getting better. It's getting better. And it's only going to keep getting better. And as we start telling more and more people about crypto, more and more people will get into it. And I mean, who do you think could use fast, reliable, cheap, borderless, middleman-free currency? Who do you think could use that? If you said everybody, you're right. So there's really no reason not to be using it. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that for me, I'd love to get into this. One of the things I'd like to also say too is, in the beginning I was talking about breaking Bitcoin. So that's one of those things that we all have to decide, is it digital gold, or is it going to be something that we're using as peer-to-peer cash? I think it's one of the most incredible inventions of my lifetime. I think it's incredible, as long as the core team doesn't destroy it. So, all right, so like I had said in the beginning, I met my wife when we were 14. So at 14 years old, I was with my wife. At 17, we had that big brute back there. And I started off loving software. I was a kid, kind of geeky, building bulletin board systems and loving tech. But when we got pregnant with him, it kind of changed everything. I'd been working construction for my father-in-law and one of his friends for free, just kind of learning the ropes of how to remodel places, how to build houses and fix up old apartment buildings and things like that. And when we got pregnant with him, I realized I couldn't make any money in software, so I went into construction. And quickly I ended up rising to the top of this construction company. And I got into it with the owner, and the owner said, hey man, if you can do a better job, go start your own construction company. So I did, and I grew it to one of the largest, in the state of California. And once I got it up to a point to where I didn't have to be in it every single day, I was able to go back to my roots of software. And so I did that in 2009, where we started building applications and platforms for people like the United States, Post Office and for big companies like that. So it allowed me to do that. And then in 2011, when Max introduced me to Bitcoin, I started really looking into that and doing everything that I could in the space until 2017, when we created Monarch. And so Monarch, it was for the people. After talking to so many different people out there and realizing all the pain points and all the friction that they had and trying to figure out how to safely store and receive crypto, where to buy it, how to sell it, how not to lose it, how not to get scammed by people, it made sense for us to create a wallet. So that was myself and Sneh, he's the co-founder. And then we brought on people like the co-founder of LinkedIn. So we have like Eric Lee on our team. We got Will back there at the booth, yeah, he's our CMO. We've got like Roger Ver. We've got Roger Ver on our team. Let's see, we got the creator of the smart contract on our team. So we created Monarch for the people, and then after figuring out that the pain doesn't stop there, being a merchant as well, and talking to a ton of different merchants, seeing that there are pain points with credit cards. See, one of the problems is if you have a merchant store and you only have one method of payment and you get shut off, they've shut you down. So if you got Stripe or something like that, and let's just say Stripe says you're not a good actor, we don't approve of your business is some kind of scheme and some kind of scam, whatever, they're gonna shut you off. So we created Monarch Pay, not only just to combat that, but also to combat those crazy fees that those credit card companies are charging people, the chargebacks, and just give them one more, application that they can use to receive payments. This isn't replacing Stripe or Visa or MasterCard, it's just in addition. So you throw this up on your website, people can click it, and every month, every day, every week, whatever you guys set the reoccurring payments at, it happens decentralized for less than 1% with no chargebacks. So we created those for the merchants as well as for the customers. So Monarch Wallet is an application. Think of it as a bank in the palm of your hand, where we bring all the best companies and services that we partner with through one login. Like Alex Mashensky right here with Celsius. He's got an amazing platform where you earn interest on cryptos that you stake with this platform. So we've integrated them into our wallet, for instance, where if you stake your Bitcoin or something like that, or any of the different cryptos that are supported, every Monday you're getting paid. That's just one service. So you can buy, sell, send, store, receive. It's decentralized. And that's the wallet. The Monarch Pay side of things is a merchant solution, or anybody that has a good or a service or something like that. It could be a one-time thing, a weekly thing, a monthly thing, whatever you elect to have people pay you, in, right? So it uses stable coins and stable tokens. You can set whatever duration you want. You can just pull from that account, their account, on the 1st of every month, or the 1st and the 14th and the 28th, or whatever you set it at. You can set any of those intervals. You both agree on it. It happens, like I said, in less than 30 seconds, and you're getting paid without having to worry about chargebacks and high transaction fees. It's literally less than 1%. And then with the Monarch token, once we introduce that to the ecosystem, it'll be like 0.5%. And it just uses stable coins and stable tokens. So that way merchants don't have to worry about the volatility, because they got bills to pay. They got employees. They can't, they can't run a business not having a budget and knowing exactly how much everything's gonna cost them. Because with crypto, it can have 85% volatility swings. But with stable coins, for the most part, it's pretty freaking stable with maybe a percent here or two that, kind of fluctuates a little bit. So hopefully that helped you out a little bit. Oh, gotcha. It's free. Yeah, it's all free. Free, yeah. And just like on our YouTube channel, we give away, $100. It's free. Trying to battle through. All right, so with Monarch, it had 3 tokens. It currently has 2. So the way it works is, In the very beginning, we had what's called a Monarch Token Promo, MTP, and we gave those out to people that were helping spread the word about Monarch. It was just kind of like a free, it was just something we gave out to the community. And then we converted them to MT, which is a utility token, which is used inside the ecosystem of Monarch. And then we got MTS, which is a Monarch token security. That's for accredited investors. And so those people would get 15% of our income paid directly to them in Monarch tokens. In 2140 is basically, if I remember right, when the last Bitcoin's supposed to be mined. And then in theory, people will actually, the miners, will be making money off of the transaction fees. That's how they'll get rewarded instead of the block rewards. So that's what will happen then. Right now we have the halvening coming where the block rewards are going to be cut in half next year. And so people think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. But what's going to happen though, I think it's probably already baked in myself, but you're going to see that it's going to become a little bit more competitive for these miners, right? It's going to be a little bit more competitive because they're only getting half as much. So anyways, 2140 is when it's done. After that, transaction fees are what's supposed to support the network. Yeah, it can't really work that way because the block times are 10 minutes. So yeah, it doesn't really work that way. I understand what you're saying though, like if everybody super focused their energy into mining all the Bitcoin with quantum computing, it'd be done tomorrow, and then what, right? Yeah, well, thank God the algorithm doesn't work that way. So we still have a little bit of time. Yeah, so like with Monarch right now, it's going to be spitting out kind of like everything is on the ledger, everything is on the blockchain. She's asking about integrating the, I guess the blockchain transactions with like QuickBooks reporting, basically. That way you're able to merge everything together cohesively. So with blockchain, everything's out there, right? So you can see it on a public network. Obviously, that's not very friendly to QuickBooks trying to go through and see all those transactions. So with Monarch, we're actually creating forms and things like that you'll be able to download and export to QuickBooks. So right now it's still a little bit early, but you'll be able to, like right now, you'll be able to see all your transactions right there within the app or within your wallet. You'll be able to see that, and you can manually enter those into QuickBooks. Would be kind of a pain in the butt. What we do is we integrate as many people as possible that offer real value and service to our customers, to anybody that uses us, right? And so we get a small transaction fee. So for instance, like with Celsius, there's a little bit of a fee that we're paid by them. So when we integrate them, we get a little bit of a kickback from Celsius. So it's not much, but it adds up. And then with like Monarch Pay, there's like 0.5% there. So if we're getting hundreds of millions of dollars and stuff like that going through there, 0.5% here and there starts adding up. And basically everybody that we plug in, we get like 0.5%, 1%. And so with the more and more people that we plug into it, in time the income should rise. But this is all early stuff. So if you're expecting to get rich right away, don't. And if you know me well enough, you know that we just put a link on our website. I've never been actively trying to promote people buying our tokens or any of that kind of stuff. I always give them away for free for the most part. So, and speaking of which, everybody should be getting into crypto if you're not already. And I'm going to help you all because you're going to see Will over there. And at the end of this, make sure you go over there. If you haven't downloaded the wallet, download the wallet. We're going to give you guys some free crypto. All right, so we're going to give you some free Monarch tokens. So on the Monarch Pay side, everything is in stable coins and stable tokens, as well as Ethereum. So that's how we have it set up right now. One of the big issues we have in crypto is everybody keeps thinking about, how do I get my crypto back into fiat? Well, that's going backwards, people. We need to be thinking about, how do we get this crappy fiat into crypto and keep it in crypto? Because that's where our power comes from. See, our power isn't going from crypto to fiat. Our power is staying in crypto and getting other people to use crypto. So we already have an exchange built into it using smart contracts and decentralized exchanges. So we have that aspect of it. And then we've got some news we'll announce soon about centralized exchanges that we'll be plugging in. Because right now you can already buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum and a lot of really cool stuff at cheaper than CoinBase prices. And the transaction fees are less than CoinBase prices. And it's decentralized, so you actually control your funds. So when you actually buy Bitcoin on Monarch, it goes right into your decentralized wallet. It doesn't go to a centralized, honeypot, like a lot of these centralized exchanges that just kind of, they're here one day and gone the next. Every single payment that comes into your Monarch wallet is only yours. We don't have any of your information as far as when you download the wallet. If you apply for KYC and you start using fiat to buy and sell cryptos and stuff like that, then our banking partner has your information. But if you're using the wallet, and you're just putting crypto on it, or you're sending crypto from it, or you're using the exchange, the decentralized exchange, you know, we don't know who you are. I'm not a big fan of Lightning. I know that people hate me for it. I don't care. I think it's crap. You know, I don't really see a need for it right now. It's losing people's money. It's still in beta. It's not working right. It's too hard for people to use. I mean, you have to be freaking almost like some kind of computer engineer to figure out how to set one up. And then when you get people losing Bitcoin on it like crazy, and if a node goes down, you lose your money. It's just, to me, that is the reason why I don't want people messing with Bitcoin, because the same people that are building Lightning are the same core devs that were working on Bitcoin. And they've got all these bugs and all these issues, and for like 3 months, they had this critical bugs out there that could have just decimated the system. So I'm more of a stablecoin and stable token guy. I don't think spending Bitcoin is probably what's going to lead to adoption. I think most people are trying to hoard as much of it as they can, get as much as they can, and they're holding on to it. They're not really spending it for burgers and bills. Yeah, that'd be pretty impossible, but because to do that, that would mean that all the existing coins that are out there, everybody would have to hodl at once. Satoshi kind of built this in a beautiful system in the beginning, where he realized that there were going to be people that hodl. There were people that are just going to do that very thing. But with the halvening, it increases the price. And nobody usually holds on for that long, because as the price usually goes up, he kind of built this mechanism in to where it actually is, the price does go up. And people sell, you know, like if you look at, you know, I don't know, there's so many stories of people out there that, you know, spent, you know, 40,000 Bitcoin on pizza, or, you know, they made $700 or something like that, and they went out and bought video games or something like that. That's just the mentality, trying to get everybody to hodl. I don't think would ever happen, but yeah. What's up, Alex?
You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, actually giving them free crypto works really well. I found that, you know, when you're giving somebody $100 and they're like, well, I didn't have $100 and now I do have $100 and now I'm able to go buy beer or whatever I want. And one of the really cool things too, man, is like when people are like in third world countries and things like that, and they download the Monarch wallet, and I send them $100 of Bitcoin Cash, and they're actually able to use it for like goods and services, to buy food, water, stuff like that. It's pretty freaking cool, and they're telling their village, and we've got like little pockets of people all over the world, and in kind of these rundown areas that are, you know, they're loving crypto. But with Monarch, as soon as we make it a little bit easier, I'm going to start bringing on a ton of my celebrity friends, and they're all going to be out there using it and making it a lot more known to people. But right now, the best we can do is just keep educating all the people that are showing interest in it, the people that like free money and they like having borderless payments and things like that with no middlemen. You kind of educate them, and you just kind of spread the word, man. And eventually, it's going to take off. Or China's going to beat us to it, and we're all just going to be playing catch up. So I don't know. But I think I get.
Last question.
All right, brother. What you got? Yeah, I'm getting that a lot lately. People are like, you know what? There's got to be a referral program. I know. I give away free money all the time. So Will actually just designed a referral program that we're trying to implement. So right now we have. Yeah. Sure. I mean, they could start using Monarch Pay today, right? Again, it's free. You know, all the stuff I just told you, it's free, right? The only way we make any money is on the transactions, like 0.5%, 1%. But yeah, Will is in the process of putting together a referral program. We've already outlined it. We'll try to implement it hopefully within the next month. What we do have all the time are bounties where people can earn free tokens and things like that. So you just go to our Telegram channel, go to YouTube, any of that kind of stuff, and you'll see that, you know, we're doing that as well. We have a desktop wallet for Windows and we have a desktop wallet for Mac, but all the cool stuff that we're doing is mostly going to stay in smartphone form, because what we want is people to be their own bank from the palm of their hand. Most people don't take their computers with them to other places, and so we've really been focusing a lot on, you know, on the smartphone side of things. But I know that anybody that has questions for me, I'll be over at the booth. God bless you. Love you. Thank you all a bunch for your time. Appreciate it.